Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of OneNote Worthy Life, and in this video I'm going to show you how I keep track of the Flylady housekeeping system in OneNote. I'm filming in OneNote for Windows 10, so if your screen looks different than mine, it might be because you're using a different device or a different version of OneNote. Before I show you my system, I want to mention that I don't love how I do this in OneNote. It's kind of clunky, but it does work. I had mentioned using the Flylady system in a prior video, and I didn't ever show how I keep track of that system because I wasn't really happy with my method yet. And somebody in the comments, as you can see, suggested that I create a video of my system right now as a progress video. And this will show you what I'm doing right now, and then later, if I come up with a better system, I can do an update to show you the progress. And if you have any suggestions for me, like if you're a Flylady user, you can tell me that as well, and then I can make those improvements. So if you do have suggestions, be sure to let me know in the comments of this video. So if you haven't heard of the Flylady system, you can find the entire system and all of the information about it on the website flylady.net. There are a variety of other topics like health and cooking on that site, but this video is only focusing on how I keep track of her housekeeping system in OneNote. If you're interested in the Flylady system, I do suggest that you go to the site and explore it over there rather than rely on my explanation, since I'm simply a user as opposed to the actual person who created the system. So the system for ongoing housekeeping, as I understand it, has three main components. There are things that you do every day, which include daily tasks and routines. There are things that you do every week, and this is mainly like a weekly basic clean, what is called the whole house blessing in the Flylady system. Then there's periodic tasks, which are mainly deep cleaning, and that's done when we go through the zones, and I'll tell you more about that later. Just for completeness, I want to mention that there are some miscellaneous things. These are just kind of like occasional things that might pop up. So sometimes they will email you what they call a surprise mission. It's like a little 2-minute job to do somewhere in your house. There are also occasional and seasonal tasks, so things like changing the filter on your furnace and your smoke detector batteries. There's information about prepping for the holidays so you don't end up in a last-minute crunch. When you first sign up, there is a 30-day starter series via email. And then finally, there's like things on mindset and other things like that. But I'm really focusing just on the backbone of that system, which is, in my mind, the daily, weekly, and periodic tasks. Now, before I go much further, I do want to tell you about routines in the Flylady system. They're a really, really important part of the system, and in this context, we talk about routines as a set of things that you do at a certain time. So, for example, you might have a morning routine and an evening routine. Having a routine saves you from having to rethink what you're doing each time. It's just like, this is what you do at this time. And you also don't have to rewrite the process each time if you have it written down, especially if you're using something like OneNote. I really like keeping my routine lists in OneNote because they're so easy to edit and rearrange. Like if I find something new, or if I can find a better way to order in which to do things, I can just rearrange those really easily. And for me, this concept of routine ties into how I execute the entire rest of the system. So I wanted to cover that first. So let's talk about daily tasks. So the Flylady system has some recommended tasks that you do every day, and they give you these on the website, and you can use these to start building your daily routines. So some of the things suggested in the system for a morning routine would be to get dressed to shoes, and by putting your shoes on, you're always ready to run outside to grab a package or take the trash out or whatever. The system also recommends what Flylady calls a swish and swipe, and that's a quick clean of your toilet bowl, and the swipe is your bathroom sink, countertop, and mirror, and also making your bed. Some of the things that the system recommends for your evening routine is to shine your sink, and that would be your kitchen sink, meaning you clear the dishes out. Hopefully you do them or put them in the dishwasher, and then give the sink a nice wipe down so it's all shiny in the morning. Check your calendar, and then lay out your clothes for the next day. Now, some people include other routines like midday or afternoon, or you might have a routine for when I get home from work or when the kids get home from school. And then the system also suggests 15 minutes of decluttering every day and 15 minutes of zone cleaning. which I'll get into later. The zone cleaning is deep cleaning. Next, there are tasks that you do every week. And these tasks are mainly what the Flylady system calls the whole house blessing. And I like to call it the whole house shine, because that's a really strong visual for me, the idea of the whole house shining. In the system, the whole house blessing consists of 7 tasks. Most of them are 10 minutes or less, so the whole thing should take you about an hour. And it's kind of a basic weekly clean. It can be done in one session or split up through the week. And I do want to emphasize that this is a basic weekly clean. The deep cleaning happens in the zone cleaning, which again I'll get into. Then finally there are periodic tasks, and these periodic tasks are mostly deep cleaning in the zones. So when you first get started with the system, you split your house into 5 zones, and there's guidance on the site, but you can adapt it as you need to. And that's one thing I really like about this system, is that there's a lot of encouragement to just adapt it for whatever you need. So each day, part of your daily tasks is to do 15 minutes of deep cleaning per day in that day's zone. So the zone is dictated by what week of the month we're in. So for example, the second full week of the month is zone 2. The third full week of the month is zone 3, etc., etc. So you cycle through zones 1 through 5 each month, and you just keep cycling through month after month. As a user, you keep a detailed cleaning list for that zone, and then you just kind of work through it 15 minutes at a time. And then just for completeness, again, I want to mention that they do sometimes send you an occasional surprise or miscellaneous task. So that's kind of an overview of the system, and now I'll show you how I do it. And you'll notice that I've adapted the system some, and again, this is strongly encouraged, which I really like. For the things I do every day, I include those either in my morning or evening routine. This saves me from rewriting them, and it saves me from thinking too much about it. It's just what I do every day, or most days anyway. We make complex decisions all day long, and the more simple things you can put on autopilot, the better, in my opinion. So let me start by showing you my morning routine. Now I keep track of this on a table, and I'll explain why in a minute. Let me tell you the steps I do here. So the first thing I do is I set up my day, and I just kind of go through my to-do list, my calendar, any deadlines that are coming up. I check all of those different things and figure out what I need to be doing that day, what's important, all that. Then if I'm going to do any bulk food prep, I do it in the morning, and then I do my big kitchen clean for the day after that. And I like doing that in the morning because that way it's easy just to keep everything clean all day. I can just throw the dishes in the dishwasher and wipe the surfaces down each time we have a meal. I wash and sunscreen my face, feed the dogs, take my vitamins, and then I spend 15 minutes in the zone for the day. I do one of the tasks in the whole house blessing, or actually I like to call it a whole house shine, as I mentioned. So that's one of the weekly tasks that go into that basic weekly clean. I spend 10 minutes processing the postal mail, and then that 15 minutes of decluttering. And so this is actually a pretty lengthy morning routine. I think this takes me about 3 hours, and I know some people talk about a morning routine in terms of like 5 or 10 or 20 minutes. So it's not just the morning. It's not just the first few minutes after I wake up. This is actually the first few hours of my day, but it just works for me, and I call it a morning routine. So that's how I do it. Now, the reason I keep this in a table is because I do sometimes batch these tasks. Like I might do 30 minutes on the mail one day, and then, spend 30 minutes decluttering the next, rather than split those out like 10 minutes each day. And by keeping it in a table, I can just keep the columns there until I'm done with that column, and then I delete the whole thing at once. Certain things can't be made up the next day. Like if I forget to take my vitamins, I can't do that the next day. But as you can see written up here in red, each day, as part of my daily setup, I add a new column for today. And then once a column is done, it gets deleted here on the left. So this is always current. It's just the days I haven't finished yet. Now let me show you my evening routine. So I don't have this on a table. This is just a simple list. This is actually what I look at when I'm doing my evening routine. And the reason is that this routine's really simple. It doesn't take much time at all, and it's just like what I do. I don't really have to, there's nothing I can batch, there's nothing to really change or think about. And I have been rereading the book Getting Things Done, and one of the things I was reminded of is not to, quote, overbuild, unquote, your system. Just don't put more into like maintaining just your trackers and your lists and things than you need to. And this simple list works great for me, so I just don't do anything more. Now what you're seeing is the current evolution of this routine, and it has evolved over time. One of the changes I made recently was to change the order in which I do these things so that they're more efficient. So these first three things all happen at my computer. So that is, I go to the computer, I look at tomorrow, and I block schedule my day if it's necessary. Some days when I have a lot going on, I like to kind of just very specifically schedule things so I know exactly where to be and all that stuff. Then I write something good, and I write that on my monthly calendar. I've shown that in my Plan With Me videos. I like to find one good thing to write down each day. And then I also record when I finished eating for the day. I sort of loosely follow intermittent fasting, so I like to know when I finished eating so that I know whether or not I'm hitting my fasting window or not. The next set of things all happen in the kitchen. So I go into the kitchen, we drink cold brew coffee, and so if I need to, I set up a batch of that. I run the dishwasher, take my supplements, and then I set up my coffee and water for the morning. And then I'm done with that. These last two items happen in the bedroom or bathroom. So I set my alarm, plug my phone in, and then I lay my clothes out for the next day. And so this has actually worked out really well for me. I really like that I have a quick stop at my computer, a quick stop in the kitchen, and then I head to another part of the house where the bedroom and bathroom is, and then I'm ready for bed. So not only is it more efficient, it saves the walking back and forth, but it kind of makes me very precise. Like I have like it's kind of like three segments: computer, kitchen, bedroom. And then the next thing I want to show you is the whole house shine. So this is the basic weekly clean tasks, and I keep this on a table for a similar reason as I keep my morning routine, because I can see what really needs to be done. Like I get most of these done most weeks, but you can see that I don't do everything every single week. So in what we're looking at now, I do one of the tasks is a 10-minute mop, and this is a basic mop because the detailed mopping happens in the zone cleaning. So I didn't do this last week, so this really needs to be done, and that's why I like having this in a table, because I can see that this one needs to be done more so than other things. So if I was planning the next day out, this is what I would be doing. But I can also see that in this bottom row here, which was a few weeks ago, all of these things have been done more recently than this week would show. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this row. I'm here in the table menu. I'm going to click delete rows. And I just don't need that row anymore. Like I don't need to know what happened because I know the last time I did each of these tasks. And if you're counting, you can see that I actually have 9 instead of the Flylady Basic 7, but they are all really quick. And I could do this probably in about an hour if I wanted to. I just like to split it up through the week. So the final thing I want to show you is an example of a detailed zone cleaning list. So when I set up my day, I make a note of what today's zone is, and as you saw earlier, the 15 minutes in the zone cleaning is part of my morning routine. I've been doing the Flylady system for quite a while now, so most weeks I just know what week we're in and I know what zone we're in, but if I ever need to be reminded, I can go to the daily email that the website sends, and I get all the information for the day in that. Now, part of my routine is to do the zone time, but the zone we're in and the task to be done varies from day to day. The zone varies based on what week of the month we're in, and it cycles through over and over again. So as a user, you maintain a list of all of the deep cleaning tasks that need to be done in that zone. There's a starter list on the Flylady website that gives you a great place to start, and then you customize it to your own home. So this is an example of the zone cleaning list for zone 1 in my home. So this is the entrance, the front porch, and the dining room. And zone 1 is the first few days of the month, and that's usually a partial month. So accordingly, zone 1 is kind of small. I have a list just like this for the other zone, but both the zone and the list of tasks for that zone are much bigger, so this one was the easiest one to look at. When I'm doing my daily time in the zone, I use this detailed cleaning tracker, and I just work my way through of all the tasks in the zone over and over again. And if I have to stop something in the middle, I just note how far I got so that I can pick it up next time we're in that zone. And as you can see on this third row from the bottom, I left off cleaning my porch of cobwebs and debris, but I wrote down exactly where I was so that next time I'm back on this, I can just jump right back into it. And as I mentioned, sometimes I batch my time so that my dates don't always correspond with when that zone would happen in the official Flylady schedule. So that's it. That's how I keep track of the Flylady housekeeping system in OneNote. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about this or suggestions for me would be awesome. If you want to, you can leave a comment down below, and then if you want to see more OneNote tutorials as well as live streams with other OneNote fans and related content on goal setting, life management, and personal organization, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button, and if you like this, hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.